Hey, it's the Brian and Kendra Show.
Yes, it is.
I'm Kendra Brown,
Brian Cook.
Advanced Real Estate Advisors.
Yep.
Okay, so you know what we're going to do today?
We're going to give practical tips and valuable insights.
Dang it. I was afraid you'd stumble and I would
I thought
win.
about it and I read it as you said it. And I don't know why. That's weird for me. I think it's just my, what were we talking about again?
Squirrel. Okay, let's talk about squirrels.
Squirrels.
So I have some in my backyard.
Oh, really?
Oh, my
Does
gosh.
it taste like chicken?
I don't know. My dog hadn't caught one yet.
Okay.
So she could about climb the tree. We have this big, beautiful, I think it's an oak tree. Yeah, it has acorns. This beautiful, beautiful oak tree in my backyard. It's so pretty. But there's this stinking squirrel, and he like gets up in there and he just gives my dog heck. She can, I can't believe how high she can climb that tree.
Wow.
I'm terrified of her getting stuck up there. I'm really worried she's going to tear up her little paws.
So when you talk about tree trimming,
For real.
remove all the
Oh
trees
my
up,
gosh. I need to tree trim. Well, no, it's like one of those where the tree splits up there. But I mean, it's like
because
as tall as my head where it is. It's crazy.
They
Okay.
didn't trim it way back
Anyway, so this squirrel is so cute. So when we're in the pool and we watch it, me and my bestie, like we'll be talking and we'll see this little squirrel and he'll like start running across. But then there's like this one place where we know it's about to get hot because he pauses for a minute. And then, man, he is fast over that hot spot. Isn't that funny?
It's crazy.
Because he just runs across it's a vinyl fence. He just runs across it until he gets to the next cool spot. And then like you can see him breathe for a second. It's the funniest dang thing.
You have to get it.
Isn't that hilarious?
The squirrel trap.
Nuh-uh, we feed it.
Have you seen
There's really no we
the
about
guy
this.
on
but
like the
funny.
TikTok?
on the TikTok?
Did you see that?
I got it.
On TikTok or Instagram where the guy builds a course for the squirrel.
Seriously?
It is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, I need to look into that.
Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
gosh, it is so much fun. I thought, now if I had a squirrel, I might build that.
So I need one of those, but then I need a dog-sized one so that Tilly also is running because man,
To play.
she needs the
Like they could have a ropes course for.
She's got some ups and she's fast. So she looks for it every time she goes out. She knows exactly. Like she looks at that tree first, and then she goes to the other tree, and then she'll follow that fence line looking for him to see if he's up on the fence. Isn't that funny?
That is. Just keep him out of your attic.
I know. How do you know for sure you're keeping it out of your? I mean, like I don't see any deterioration up there.
You
But
just,
is that the deal?
They'll find a hole, and once they find a hole, they go. So, make sure your trim is secure and your vents are not, got screening or netting behind them. So that's the main thing, especially near winter. They'll start trying to hide food and get a wintry place to go. And so have them a home away from your house.
My pen just got stuck on my ring.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about. That was the squirrel moment, wasn't it?
I'm like, talking about staging.
I got lost. Okay, so we're going to talk about some home staging tips. We don't talk a lot about home staging tips. Like we always mean to, but we get stuck on something. And I've told you, you're not allowed to get stuck on it this time.
Okay.
Because I really want to talk about this.
Okay.
So first and foremost, does Woodward have to be home staged? Is your house better to sell vacant or occupied in Woodward?
We generally see vacant houses selling easier.
Because?
People don't have a vision. No. I think
No, they sell easier because...
I think they can see their first stuff in the space. If your stuff's in their space, they can only see your stuff in the space.
And I think also, I think it's hard to recognize how much space is somewhere sometimes. I've noticed, like, we'll be standing in a bedroom and somebody will go, this bedroom is really small. And I'm like, this bedroom's really big. That's a king-sized bed. That's a chest of drawers. That's a dresser. And then they've got this thing over here. And then there's a bassinet over here. This is a really big room. Like, sometimes I think people don't quite see the space because of the stuff. Whereas I actually see this, I can see the space because of this stuff. It's interesting just how our brains work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so Woodward, if your house is vacant, we're not saying go out and buy a whole bunch of furniture to stage your house. That is not what we're saying.
That's dumb.
No, I mean, some people do it. But But for certain houses, it is
Yes.
necessary.
Yep.
So we could take a little caveat if you want to and,
Yep.
and go to your house. So you have personally right now, you're trying to sell 1516 Enterprise.
Right.
It's a beautiful, beautiful home. It's one that just, I mean, talk about Transformation Tuesday kind of a thing. It is absolutely gorgeous, especially when you compare it to what it was. It was, I couldn't wait to peel some wallpaper in that house. And instead, you just knocked down the walls.
Yeah. What's easier? Remove the wall, take the wallpaper off. Just take the
No.
fireplace too.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
No big deal.
But when you took out the fireplace, it created such a vast space. A lot of our buyers were struggling. Where do I put my furniture? And we heard that frequently enough from our other agents that were showing the property that you did go and get some furniture and put into the house so that you could show, look, here's the living room, here's the dining room, there's where the TV hangs, and you've literally hung a TV so that
Yep.
so that buyers can see this works. Here's a cute little play area. And so sometimes we recognize it's necessary because it might be an unusual space. But if it's just a pretty standard 3-bed, 2-bath, living room, kitchen, yada, 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 you probably don't have to put furniture in it when it's vacant. But if your house is occupied, we want to tell you how to present it best so that you can find your buyer in the quickest fashion and secure the highest buyer. So let's go. First and foremost, furniture arrangement and layout. So,
And some people can see it and some people cannot.
so I'm the problem. Y'all been waiting for me to say that. So this is a struggle for me. So whenever I moved into my tiny house, I had it set up because I hate covering windows. Cannot stand covering windows. I love windows. I love bright light. I want all the light. I want to open all the curtains. I want to open all the blinds. Like I want all the brightness in my living room. So I had kept it so that the window was open to the living room, which meant that I had the big chair over, kind of separating the dining room from dining room, the dining corner from the living space. So I needed to buy new furniture and we were out at Merriman's. Do you remember?
Yep.
And I talked to Mary. We had her on the show one time and I was like, Mary, like I'm struggling. I can't find anything because I don't want to cover my window. And she said, will you just do me a favor? She said, don't buy anything yet. Go back home. And I showed her a picture. She said, I want you to move this chair here and I just want you to see. And I said, well, I'm going to hate it. I don't like change. Like my furniture doesn't change. So I moved it and I did. I complained and I hated it for a couple of weeks. And all of a sudden one day I walk in and I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt like my house just gained a whole other 100 square feet.
It did.
It did. It was literally blocking off everything. Like when you came in from the garage, you were bumping into the chair. When you were walking through the living room, you had a walker. You kind of had to slide around the chair. Like it wasn't like crowded, but it made it feel crowded. Moved it over across the room. The whole thing opened up. So you want to make sure with your furniture that it has an open feel. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't see it. I couldn't see it. Totally couldn't see it.
No.
But we can see it in other people's houses. We did this recently. We were showing a house, or looking at a house to put on the market, and that was the first thing I said was, "You have to move that chair. You need to get that chair out of here." And I know that it was functional for them, but I knew every buyer would say, "Oh no, this is a crowded space."
And I think that's correct. And then like at my house, which is weird.
I know you got a big, huge space.
Ginormous space. And we moved furniture around 500
This is
times.
your personal residence.
Yes. 500 times. And it's back exactly where the previous people had their furniture.
Oh, how funny. Is it really?
Yes. We added a whole couch.
Right?
But we couldn't, we have struggled. Like there's just, I don't know what else you do with it. Like, so we have like a U-shaped deal of couches facing our fireplace that we added into the TV. And it's like we've moved it up when we had Christmas. We tried to move things around. It's such an open space. We had a hard time arranging it.
What did you not like about it whenever you rearranged it? I'm curious.
Well, it felt too big. Like you put the furniture up against the couch, up against the wall, and then the space was, and it needs to be symmetrical.
Okay, so I am loving that you said it felt too big, because that's like the big deal is whenever
Right.
you were moving your furniture around And frankly, even just for a homey feel. But
Right.
particularly whenever you're trying to sell the property, you need to be creating inviting spaces.
Yes.
And so so you felt like yours wasn't inviting. It was too
Right.
big, it was too cold,
Yep.
and it didn't allow that warm welcome, like come in and sit down and have a cup of
Yes.
coffee and let's visit for a minute.
Yeah.
But don't bother my wife, she's reading a book.
Yes. And the kids on the iPad, and I'm working on the phone.
Yeah, you can watch TV by yourself.
Yes.
But that's what we're needing to do is we need to
Yep.
create living
Inviting.
spaces that are inviting and making people come in and go, oh my gosh, this feels like home. That's what we're wanting to
Yes.
do. And so that's what the whole idea of staging would be. Creating an inviting space. I don't know how many times that we walk into a house. Usually it's outside spaces for me. And I'll say,
Yep.
I can just do my work from here. But that's what we want. We want them to come in and not want to leave. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, enhancing curb appeal. This might be my favorite. I don't know why. I don't want to do the work particularly, but I think that the outside part is what I love the most. I can't believe the difference in fresh paint. Cannot believe it. When we moved into the tiny house, it had just enough deterioration. I knew I needed to get it painted quickly because it was going to deteriorate fast if I didn't do something. And so we moved in the end of June, beginning of July, and October we were painting that house. My poor kids. It was mostly me, but I made them get the really high spots. I use the exact same colors. It's not even like I did anything special. Like I used that little color snap tool from
Yep.
Sherwin-Williams, and I went around and I found the right shade, and I came back, and there were places like you couldn't even tell where I painted, where I hadn't. But when you stepped back from the house, you went, "Oh my goodness, it looks so clean and shiny." Like, and it needed it. It wasn't like I just needed to wash it. Like it really, fresh paint makes a world of difference.
It's amazing. A
It
coat of paint.
is.
So we're painting a house for a customer now. And I think it'll sell the house quickly.
I can't wait to see it. So sometimes you need to paint it because it's so outdated.
Right.
Sometimes it's because severe deterioration. Sometimes you might just need to do some good touch-ups,
Yep.
appropriate touch-ups, not like not glaring touch-ups.
Right.
You've got to make it blend.
Yep. So like the landscaping at the house on Enterprise,
Yes.
we removed truckloads of bushes.
And it blows my mind because I asked you, what all did you do to the front of this house? And you said,
Took the bushes
take
out.
out the bushes. I'm like, no, really? Like you painted? No,
Nope.
didn't touch it.
Nothing.
Blows my mind. So we have a customer that shared some of their before and afters. And their before, it was like there was a few sparse, I don't know, bushes or something. And then, but they put in like the pretty ones with that, what is that? Like, I don't know if y'all know, but you know, those like a Japanese thing with the swirly deal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And I know that what really made the difference was, what is that? Good old elbow grease?
Yes. Yeah.
They planted a couple of bushes. They got out there and they worked on their yard. Like they kept it trimmed and they did all the things. And it made this huge difference on the exterior look of their home. That curb appeal
Yep.
is vastly different today than it was when they purchased it.
Yes.
Which is so exciting because when I see that from somebody that we sold, I'm like, oh my gosh, they love their home. Don't you?
I do.
It's
I
my
love it.
favorite thing.
The other thing is during this season, like it hasn't been a big deal because it's rained so much.
I know. It's been amazing.
But you better start watering your yard.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time because you want a nice green yard. You don't want a bunch of weeds coming up. You don't want it looking dead. Like while you're trying to sell your house, make sure you keep it watered.
It's the 5 hours you spend in the kitchen mastering your famous recipe or spending quality time with your family. Other insurance companies may just see it as a house. It's not just a house, it's your home. Hi, I'm State Farm Agent Kevin Kanzler, and I see your home as the time and memories you put into them. I understand what your things really mean to you, and I'm here to help give them the protection they deserve. My office is located on the corner of 13th and Oklahoma and Woodward, or call me at 580-256-2216 for your home insurance today.
OnPoint Land Survey can take care of all your residential, commercial, and industrial survey needs. This family-owned and operated business proudly serves Northwest Oklahoma. These lifelong Northwest Oklahoma residents with over 22 years of experience are ready to serve you with the latest equipment and capable trucks to get your job done. Call OnPoint Land Survey today at 580-256-6757 or stop by 1918 Main Street in Woodward, Oklahoma, or visit their website at onpointlandsurveyok.com. Professional, trusted, local. Definitely. I think I want to run back to the paint real fast.
Okay.
I think front doors can be a huge issue.
You just want to.
I don't want everyone. No, I don't. I'm the only one that I want to paint their door yellow. Actually, right now it's green. Sorry, Nathan. Well, ago he's talking about not painting stuff green, and I'm like, I just painted the bathroom cabinets green. Next weekend, I'm going to paint the green on that. I'm going to paint that on the front door. It's going to look smashing.
Wow. Okay.
It's going to be so pretty. Sweet. Right now, you can't even see the front door.
From the golf course, it looked like a Target.
I don't think there's any windows there. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Just
good.
kidding. There are some windows. But okay. So, but the front door. So the front door of my tiny house, I'm always going back to it because I did so much work to it in such a short time. And I like the amount of money that I spent on it is nothing compared to the return. The return of the aesthetic value. Like the aesthetic value now is completely drastically different than it was when I moved in. So when we moved in, the door was red and it was, it had been a couple of days since it had been painted. And so it was patchy, it was faded, it didn't look fresh. I immediately hung something on it just to make it pretty. But when we repainted it, it made such a huge difference. And I'm talking a Saturday and like a little, what is that? A little
quart?
Paint? A quart of paint.
Quart of paint.
I don't know my measurements. And so I mean $50 later and I've got a brand new door is what it looked like. It's a big deal. So check out that front door.
Yep. And of course shutters are a big deal. It's not on here, but
Oh, you know how I feel about shutters.
Decorating, breaking up the space on your front of your house. Sometimes is a like the bushes are great if you don't plant them too close to the house, but something to break up the front.
Right.
So that's what the shutters do.
Clean walkways and trimmed bushes. This is a big fight I have with my son. I'm always like, you've got to edge and then clean up where you edged.
Yes. Yeah. Sweep that
Really
off.
does no good if you don't sweep it off. The difference between a yard that's just been mowed, it's nice and green, but it's been mowed, and then one that's also been edged and weeded is just this huge difference.
It does.
It looks
sharp.
so amazing. So you guys were talking about the TikTok a while ago, and I like to watch TikToks where that guy goes through
Cleans
and he
the
like
yard.
cleans up the yards, like and you don't even know that there was a sidewalk, and then suddenly there's this amazing sidewalk with these beautiful edges, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was my chair. Okay. Anyway, I think that is a huge difference, and I think that's one of the things with curb appeal. I don't think you have to go out and plant a whole bunch of flowers. I don't think you have to do a whole bunch of that.
Nope.
I'm a big fan of flower pots and just enough that you can maintain.
Yep.
Don't do more than you can maintain.
Yes.
Although, if
It's
you want to do
overwhelming.
more than you can maintain, find a guy. Call Brian Baker. Do the
Yes.
thing. Like,
Do it.
get a land guy.
Landscaper.
Landscaping person.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Neutral color. This is hard. It might feel boring.
Yes.
But if you have a bright red wall or if you have bright green walls, I do
them.
think you can get by with some crazy stuff on the front door. I don't think you can get by with
As an
crazy
accent.
stuff in bedrooms.
Yep. I think the best
Living
thing is
rooms.
go and clean it up, paint it, make it sharp, clean, neutral.
Neutral.
Lighter the better.
Here's what's fun though. Like there are some slightly tinted neutral colors so we just, I'm not going to say what we just painted ours because I like it and then I want to share it. Actually, I stole it from an investor, but like that color that we just painted, like it looks this beautiful green color in our bedroom. It looks more blue in our bathroom. And remember the house that we saw it in? It looked like it was a different color in a couple of the different rooms just because the way that the light hit it. And it was so beautiful. And the last color that I would do, I just went all the way through. It was the Big Chill. Man, I loved that color. It was just this very light, easy, cool gray that just felt peaceful. When I walked in, it just felt like a breath of fresh air all the way through the house. And I know that sounds boring to some of us, but man, that's what sells. Boring sells.
Yep. Clean and neutral cells.
All right, so neutral colors. Again, this you can still have your personality in your things. So do the pops of color with your cushions on your couch, with some flowers on the table, with some things like that. We just want to encourage you. If you think you're going to be selling, it might be okay. Might be a good time to go ahead and start painting some neutral colors on walls that are kind of crazy.
Yep.
All right, what's next? Oh, minimalism.
Minimalism.
So this is interesting. I think I think Nathan's going to talk more about this, about minimalism and stuff like that later on a different show. So I don't want to like spend a whole heck of a lot of time. But less is more when you're selling your property. I think that's just the less for me. Less is more anyway in my house. Like I don't want to dust, and so I want it to be as easy to clean as possible. But less is more. So if you can pack it away, pack it away.
Yep.
I'm in trouble. I said pack.
Oh my god.
Don't throw the ball at me. Save it for Brian. I'm going to set him up. No, save it for Brian. Throw it at Brian. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah, dang it. I said I wasn't going to say it. All right. We need a clean and spacious feel though. And so with the whole less is more idea, it just creates that for you. So even in a smaller space, especially in a smaller space, we want to pay attention to that. So next up, staging tips for specific rooms. So this is where I think it's a little bit tricky because when you're living in your home and we're talking about how to stage your kitchen, your bedroom, your bathrooms, like whenever I say put up your toaster and your mixer and your air fryer, I think that stresses people out. And then I feel bad.
Do you want to sell your house or do you want to cook your toast?
I want to do both.
Okay.
I think, oh man, I'm going to break. Okay, throw the ball at me. If you pre-pack, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to catch that. If you pre-pack, then you have places that you can put these things. So we always talk about, say it. You're not going to say it.
I'm
I'm
disallowed.
like, Brian, you're not allowed to say pre-packing. Don't say pre-packing.
Yep.
If you will pre-pack, if you will depersonalize and you already have those things stored somewhere, put them in their moving totes and get them stored away into a storage building, you'll have room to put those things away, but where they're easily accessed. So it's not a big deal. So my mixer has its own little corner of the kitchen, not out where it's crazy, not where it's obnoxious. It's easy for me to access, get it, pull it out, do what I need to do with my mixer, put it back. The air fryer and the crock pot, same thing. They have their own cabinets now. And so I can just use them whenever I need them. If we have minimalized enough to allow us to be really neutrally home staged, I think it's easier to still have your kitchen looking good without completely destroying your cooking times. Do you think? I mean, I know this is from the girl who doesn't love to cook, but actually, I cook probably 5 times a week. So we joke all the time. People are like, what do you know? You burn up all the kitchens. We joke all the time, but I actually cook quite a bit. And so I have learned, because I was the one, like, I've always been the one that wanted everything out where it was easy for me. And then we start real estate. I was like, oh, my kitchen looks so junky. Because we'd go to these beautiful homes that were already beautifully staged. And I'd go home and I'd be like, I need to find a place for the toaster. I need to quit leaving the crock pot out. But these are things that I use.
Right.
So I've learned some tricks. And I haven't won the toaster battle. The toaster is still out. But everything else, it has its own little home. And I've worked really hard to find homes for those things. Makes a huge difference the way that it looks. But it's still functional for me when I'm cooking.
Yep. We've kind of narrowed them down. We've bought some appliances that we thought, oh, these will be great. Man, if you don't use them but twice a year.
I know, right?
Do you need that bread maker?
Yeah, no.
Do you need that pizza cooker that we've used once
Nathan's
since my
like,
birthday?
you need the pizza cooker.
So, I mean, there's like things
That's
that
hilarious.
haven't been used that I'm like, hey, we could probably send that on its way.
I bet 10, 15 years ago, my mom gave us, all of us kids each, got our own espresso maker. And I mean, that is like right up my alley, but it was so much work to do it. I didn't understand the whole thing. And we gave ours away quickly. My brother still has his.
Wow.
But we gave ours away because I didn't have a home for it. And I didn't actually, he may have a different one now, but they used theirs. And so it made sense for it to be out and all those different things.
Yep.
I didn't use mine. And I knew I needed to just get rid of it.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I mean, today now I'm like,
think-
I really need it back.
I do think I could buy a Rubbermaid tub, stick it in the Rubbermaid tub, put it in the garage, label it
Right.
pizza maker. So when we want to
For
have
that once
pizza
a year?
night, that once a night, like we should have pizza, I can go out and get it, clean it off, cook it, put it back in the tub.
Also, guess what we're having for dinner tonight?
Pizza.
Yeah, we are.
Sweet.
Not you, me.
Oh, dang. I'm sure that's traditionally on our list.
Someone text Carrie Ann, tell her to, when she gets home from school, to pull out the pizza maker.
No, I did get demanded to cook out Friday. So
Oh, demanded.
demanded. I know they twisted my arm and said,
Is that
"You
what she
have to
wanted
do
for her
it."
birthday was cooking out?
No.
Because Carrie Ann's birthday was Friday.
Yeah, last Friday. This is going to be,
Oh, you mean coming up?
it's like Harry Potter Welcome to School Day or something. I don't know what it is.
Yes and amen.
So I have to cook out and celebrate.
That's awesome.
Yes. So that's what I'm doing.
That's fantastic. All right. So, final touches and photography. Just a couple of things for final touches. And actually, I don't even know how we're doing on time. So I don't know if this is like the final or what we're doing.
Yep.
But some things to pay attention to are lighting.
Ooh, lighting.
Yeah. You want to make sure you have the same light bulbs all the way through your house. So, like, I have like the cool white, everything. But Jack had all of the warm light, everything. And so, like, the lamp that I bring in is like nice and happy. And his is like,
Chill.
yeah.
Drab. No.
To me, it is. But I get it. Like, it's really interesting how we view light. It doesn't matter. I think it matters.
I'm like, I want hospital white. And Carrie Ann's like,
yes.
this.
Yeah. Whatever you do, make sure it's consistent.
Yes.
Just make sure it's
So,
consistent.
of course, you won.
All right. Next, what else do we have? Visual. You're looking for enhancing your visual appeal. Two things. One, I would take pictures of my house, and I'd look at the picture and go, "Ooh, that's not as cute as
That
I
doesn't,
thought."
or that sticks out. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bought this. I have a funky lamp that I love, and so I put it on one side of the couch. And Jack had mentioned maybe we could find another funky one, so I thought it was funky, and so I put up the second lamp on the other side of the couch, and I'm like, "Yeah, it looks great." And I took a picture of it, and I went, "Oh, that looks terrible." Take a picture.
Yep.
Take a picture, look at it, and see what you think.
I think it's a great idea.
I mean, really, like, it was just even your little iPhone. Like, we'll get real good pictures, but just take a picture and see. I think that's a good tip. What else have you got?
I think we went through colors, it's moving furniture. We went through all that, pre-packing, decluttering. See, I said it finally. I waited till the very, very end.
You did really, really
Thanks.
well. It was me. I'm the one that messed it up.
So yeah, and then again, if you're thinking about moving a year from now, 6 months from now, don't hesitate to call us. We'll come by and tell you, hey, like we need to, you've got the time, but start here. Paint these
Right.
bedrooms.
Yes.
If you came to my house, you'd be like, clean your flipping garage out. Good night. Like it would
That's
be
on my list. Yeah.
yes, and so that way you kind of get your list, because then as you get closer, more things will pop up.
Absolutely.
So-
I think that we can be a valuable resource for you.
Yep, absolutely, and we don't mind. We love going out and
All right.
seeing houses. So thanks for listening. It's the Brian and Kendra Show. I'm Brian Cook, 580-334-2303.
And I am Kendra Brown, 580-216-0090. We'll see you later.